10,000 Tin Challenge Week 5, 6, 7. Welcome, Will.
Wow, time's running behind us.
Glad to see Wardrobe caught up with you before we came on to the recording. Right, we are going to continue our look at where the food you donate to the 10,000 Tin Challenge goes. We've already looked at who it goes to, why it goes to them, what type of bags we do. Now we're going to look this week at what happens beyond that food, why that food is important. We probably touched on it previous weeks, but we're going to look at specifically what other stuff other than filling your bellies the food does. So before that, Will, what have we got to do?
We've got to check on the 10,000 Tin Challenge tinometer.
Very well said. So it has been another fantastic week at House of Bread. So many donations coming in, harvest after harvest after harvest. We've already had 2, 3 today, I think,
Are they even in the count?
Some of them aren't even in the count. It's absolute chaos with all the tins coming in.
Thank you
so much, Maureen, who on Monday, bless her, was by herself counting. Everybody was ill because it's got horrible wet and cold now. So yeah, Maureen's been fantastic, and all the vast majority of the number of tins you're about to see were all counted by Maureen. So that number is, once again, over 1,000 tins. An absolute mammoth effort with less than 4,000 to go. So keep them coming in.
That is amazing, and I know I've got at least 4 harvests this week, and I think another one might have come through.
Wow, really?
So,
Fantastic.
yeah, very exciting. I can't wait to find out whose the 10,000 tin is.
It will be coming in. And do not forget, the quid on the lid is going great guns. We've got lots of money in from that. So thank you for helping us raise a little bit of money as well as a little bit of food.
Fantastic.
So this week we're going to look at beyond the food. And Will, we thought this was a good idea because we were recently visited by a lovely lady called Lucy.
Yes,
who was working with FareShare, who, if you've watched these videos a lot, will know what FareShare does. They give us surplus food that hasn't even made it to the supermarket's pallets, might have slipped and it would have ended up in the bin. And she's doing some research on how that helps charities beyond just putting food in people's bellies. So Will, that also worked with the food that the lovely people at home give towards the 10,000 Tin Challenge. So what does that mean?
Really, almost really since day one, and really expanded, is the importance of that holistic approach to the food bag request. It might be that the food bag request is incidental. It might be that somebody wants to engage with us, but that's the sort of route in, which very often it is. And it's because we have a conversation with people to find out what their problems are and to try and work through, if we can, to break that vicious circle. And food is this great way of enabling people to engage with us in a comfortable way. So we're not sort of sitting there while we watch them eat. It's about the whole participation. So even when they get the food bag home and they've actually got food, one of our other mottos is the family that eats together stays together. You've got this whole thing about the opportunity to sit and chat and explore the issues that are causing the problems in people's lives.
Well, a perfect example of that was on Friday. A chap, we'll call him Tony, it's not his real name, he messaged me on Facebook and said, I need a food bag. And I said, great, come down. He said, oh, that's great. I've done some work, I'm not going to be paid for a while, so I just need a little bit of food to tide me over, but I'm very lonely. And that food bag request was a great way in to say, look, come down, grab a food bag. It was a Friday, so bread church was happening. So I said, Tony, come on in. We've already made the bread, but you're more than welcome to stay for the soup. You're more than welcome to stay for the chat, the story that we have, all the social stuff that comes with that. So food is really, I mean, there's been endless documentaries about it. Food is really, really sociable. So to be able to give that food out in a way that encourages people to maybe use our services if they need that social engagement is really, really important. Will,
I think one of the things that I noticed from the feedback from the social work conference that I went to last week was the value given to the steadfastness of being always available, which I thought was interesting. But the other time is genuinely the gift of time, rather than when you're engaging with agencies sometimes and you get that, is there anything else you want to share with us? And you know that person is under a lot of pressure and you need to move on. Here we don't have that problem. We don't have to address an outcome in a given period of time. You come in here, you hang out for as long as you want to, you take as much as you need from us in terms of resource and food and time, and it's when you're ready to go that you go. And that frees a lot of people up from the worry that there's a limited time, limited access, which is why our opening, our extended times, and we're looking at even more days in the week, enables people to break down from that frenetic time that we used to have back in the day. We're now able to sort of say, well, actually, you can drop in whenever you want. When it works for you, you drop in. We'll always be here, but come in and engage. And I see that, and the guy you must mention is a good example. I can see him engaging with us longer, more sustainably. The opportunity for us to introduce him to the CAB, the opportunity to talk about other little things, maybe getting involved in some of the projects as a helper. It's so much more than just that food bag request, so much more.
And there are little ways that you can use the request of food and the offer of food to engage with people. So, for example, if somebody comes down and they need a lot of food, we can say, come on down, and oh dear, we forgot to make the food bag before you arrived. Why don't you sit down and chat with somebody, and then we'll make the food bag up, giving us that little bit of time to get to know that person. So the food that you donate and that goes out to people who really desperately need it, you know, to stop them being hungry, is really, really important.
So
there's a lot of stuff beyond that big
so
tin of beans.
And I think that the value, if you're sitting there thinking, yes, I've made a donation, or I'm thinking about it, the value is almost uncalculable. We see that.
For sure.
But if you're thinking, can I make a difference? Absolutely. Everybody makes a difference with even that one tin. I know we bang on about it, but the difference is profound. We see it.
And if you put a quid on that lid, you'll be able to keep the lights on so we can make somebody a cup of tea while they're waiting for their food bag. Right, thank you, Will.
That's all right.
Very important message there, I think. Yeah, really important. It's more than just food, this place. If you want to know why we do what we do, how we do what we do, and all the different events happening, really exciting ones coming up actually quite soon, do check out Hob News. That's below this video, wherever you're watching it, or goes on Sundays, not live. It gets posted on Sundays at 4. As ever, thank you so much for watching and donating. We really couldn't do this without you. But for now, until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.
For now, until next time.
For now and forever.